I'm Scott.
I'm TJ.
And this is a review, remote style. Today we'll be remotely reviewing Avatar, Way of Water.
Ooh.
Avatar, Way of Water is the sequel to Avatar, James Cameron's movie he made in 2009, over 10 years ago, about the blue people versus military people. TJ, what'd you think about Avatar?
I think it might,
Way of Water.
I think it might be safe to say that this is the best sequel we've ever gotten with the amount of years in between. It beats the...
Whoa.
It beats
Have
the...
you not seen Top Gun Maverick?
No, I haven't, actually.
Here's the thing. I never really cared about Avatar. Old Avatar. Didn't care about it. I saw it in theaters. I was in high school. I was a sophomore or something, or a junior in high school. I don't remember.
That's something.
Everyone was talking about Avatar. I saw it. It's fine. The 3D was really good. It looked really good. I forgot about everything after that. 12 years later, whatever, how many years it's been? Avatar 2, Way of Water. Same cast, same story, same movie. But they did it again. I kind of liked it.
I like this so much more than I thought I would, if I'm being honest.
Me too.
And I'm not talking smack on the original Avatar or nothing, but I saw it once in theaters, kind of like you said. I saw it in 3D. I went, wow, this is a beautiful spectacle. And then I never really cared or thought about it ever again, because the story was a little bland, in my opinion, and that movie was really about, look at the world, look at the spectacle of this filmmaking masterpiece. And
so is this one.
It was exactly that, but had way more characters. And so I mean, dude, I like the kids.
More.
Dude, they had like 5 kids off screen. There's way more characters.
But like, as far as like characterization and story and everything, I think this is a little better, and I do agree with you, but not by a long shot.
No,
I think
not
it's
by
like
a long shot.
Slightly better.
But
which is fine.
Step in the right direction in terms of sequel. Because if they were just selling me on this movie because, like, hey, look at the beautiful underwater world, which is kind of what the first one was, but in the air.
Yeah.
I'm not into it.
But here's the thing, like, I kind of also forgot everything about this. I watched it a few weeks ago, and I don't really care anymore. It's just over. You know, it's like, okay.
These are movies I never need to rewatch.
No.
Like it came back into theaters before Avatar 2, The Way of Water came out, and I was like, oh, do I want to go see this again as a refresher? And then I was just like, immediately, didn't even finish the thought in my head. I was like, I don't want to watch that again. I'm okay.
I didn't even want to watch this one, but somebody invited me, and they're like, let's go see Avatar. And I was like, okay, it's 3.5 hours. I'll waste my whole day. And, it moves. It doesn't feel like it's 3.5 hours long, like other movies that came out this year. Babylon, or last year. But it doesn't feel the length. It moves pretty quickly. It's got an entertaining story. I mean, look, here's the thing. James Cameron knows how to make a motherfucking movie. Mm-hmm. Plain and simple. It's a simple fact. You can hate him all you want for him being an arrogant asshole online, but he's right. He's better than you, and he knows how to make movies better than you, and he's one of the only people left that does.
James Cameron doesn't do what James Cameron does for James Cameron. James Cameron does what James Cameron does because James Cameron is James Cameron.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with all of that, but I get the sentiment.
He's a great filmmaker, and it's like he's making a movie that I don't care about, and it's still really good.
Honest to God, that is the thing. I don't care about this story or anything like that, but I sat down in this theater and not once went, oh my God, how much longer? Like, I was fully invested in this. Oh God.
I could care so much less about Jake Sully. Who cares? But it's a fun movie. It's well made, and it's like, oh yeah, they're swimming with the big whale things.
Yeah,
great.
That's fun. Although I will say, I knew immediately that older brother was gonna die. I don't know how you felt about him and his story. I've talked to some people about this.
Because there was too many. There was too many of them. That's why it was clear one of them was going to die. That was definitely
one of the hints. The hint for me was when your whole characterization and your whole storyline is you're not looking after your younger brother enough, you're probably going to die for your younger brother by the end of the film.
Or the younger brother is going to die, and they're going to have to carry the weight.
There's one of two ways. You know, I looked at it and I was like, you're the one who's going to die because they give the younger brother the love interest in the other tribe.
So I liked that they brought back Stephen Lang as like a weird clone of himself, but as a Na'vi, but he's still the same guy. I'm like, yeah, this is fuck it. Who cares?
Who's Stephen Lang?
The bad guy.
Oh, Captain Drill Sergeant Meanie.
Captain Quark.
Yeah.
Or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, there was a moment at the very beginning, only one moment where I went, do I not remember the first film as much as I should? Because they're talking about Spider, and they're like, yeah, he couldn't leave because he was a baby. I was like, was there just like a baby in the first film?
No, they never explain. That's bullshit. They never explain that. That's
for sure. So I looked it up afterwards, and they made like a comic book that takes place in between 1 and 2. And the comic book introduces the idea of Spider, and so all the leaps this takes are filled out in that.
Does it explain why comatose Sigourney Weaver has a baby?
No, that's for Avatar 6 to tell us.
See, that's when I get into like, just stop. Don't give me something to be interested in moving forward because I don't care. Just make another one and make it good and remind me everything that happens in the first 10 minutes of that one.
Right.
And I don't ever want to watch them again.
No, and you know, I think that all of the Na'vi characters and all of the characters that are motion captured are fantastic. Like, I'm really sold on all of them. Spider did as good as he could do, but, you know, kind of...
No, Spider sucks. Spider.
I was trying to be a little nicer to my boy Spider, but no.
Get Spider the out of this thing.
Part of the problem with Spider is they don't ever commit to his storyline. Like, they're so...
His name is Spider!
What's wrong with that?
Why is his name Spider? It plays an important role in the story, but I found him to be too, like, playing both sides with no consequence.
Yes.
Where I'm like, I like that he was, like, trying to save his evil dad, but I don't like that everyone on his side was just like, oh, Spider, you're just a little spider, you.
Yeah, come here, Spider. Except for when, and I'm blanking on her name, Zoe Saldana's character. When she like is like, I'm gonna kill him. Like, I don't care. Like, I will kill this guy, son for a son.
Well, you're blanking on her name because they wrote her out of the movie entirely, even though she was like the main character in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is much more about the children and like the next generation of...
And Jake Sully.
Jake
Sully is still way prevalent in this movie compared to Zoe Saldana, who's a much better actor.
Agreed.
And should be the focus by all intents and purposes, but for some reason they kind of sideline her.
Yeah, I could have used a lot more of her. I thought Jake Sully was in it the amount I expected him to be in it, if not a little less, because I didn't really think it was going to be so children focused. But moving forward, I'm okay if they keep kind of aging up these children and we almost see like generational impact of like the characters we know, like the Na'vis, because I mean
the third movie, they're going to continue following the same path set forward by Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Right.
They're going to finally meet the Fire Tribe, who is led by Zuko and the wise Uncle Iroh, who are in the Fire Nation, the Fire Na'vi, which James Cameron has already teased.
Right. He's got to come up with a better name for him, though.
Well, the Ash People.
I don't think Ash People's a super solid name choice on James Cameron's part.
Well, I will say, as laughable as the concept is, it's like the evil fire people. It's so on the nose, but not like Unobtainium isn't, but it'll be nice to see Na'vi that aren't just perfect pillars of society and wholesome.
Yes, and totally.
Like, it's the first two movies, it's just like they're all just completely light side characters, and like, yeah, some of them there's some infighting a little bit here and there, but overall they're just way too pure,
right?
And it's to the point of being kind of obnoxious, and it's like they can also have some. That's why I liked the Planet of the Apes movies, which I would compare to these, and there's a lot of similarities. There was like evil apes and good apes, and they had differences within their own community as to how to move forward. And everyone in this movie, for the most part, was way too accepting of Jake Sully and the interlopers. There was a little bit of like, we don't want them here, but they were way too like, yeah, come in and let everyone, the evil space American whalers, come and kill you in search of one guy.
Right. I mean, at the very beginning of it, you kind of have that classic tale of like family moves to a new town, kids are getting picked on because they're like,
and that's fine. That's good. Absolutely. I like that stuff,
and I'm with you on that. And then once he stands up and kind of helps out the son of the other leader, all of that's kind of aside. And you're right, they're just like, you are part of our tribe, and we're just gonna let all of our whale friends die.
They didn't get into the nuance of like what that was costing their tribe, because they interwove it with, well, they're already under attack to some degree anyways. And it's like, yeah, that's fine, I guess, but you're taking away the interesting part of these two tribes, the ocean people and the forest people, who don't really, they have different lifestyles. It would have been more interesting to see the clash a little bit more beyond, they can't swim underwater.
Yeah, sure, right. Unless you're the 14-year-old Sigourney Weaver character.
Which I hate that character.
Really?
I don't like that. I don't like that character.
So everyone's joking like, oh, Jake Sully's the Avatar, like blah blah blah. It's clearly Sigourney Weaver's daughter is the Avatar. Like, she's the, like, if you're talking about Last Airbender, of course, but like, she's the one that seems ultimately connected with the world. And I will say, I was loving it at the end when she's like literally water bending with creatures and like taking people out. That's cool.
There's some neat stuff, but just the character, for some reason, it just irritated me. And I think it was because they're playing her up to be like the savior of both. She's like a Jesus figure too much. And they're getting too much into like religious symbology with this character and how they're kind of leading into the story. It's just a little bit too much for me. Just in general, like the Na'vi, I don't like their teeth. They have perfect teeth, and it bothers me. They look like fake dentures, or like like when you get the fake teeth, and I don't like it.
Sure, I did not ever really look at their teeth. I like could not even imagine what their teeth look like.
Oh, they're like Tom Cruise. God,
I didn't remember the whole thing with the fingers being such a big deal in the first one. I'm sure they really hit that a lot in this one.
It's kind of like the 3 versus 3 thing in Inglourious Bastards.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But I think, like, overall, the world building is fine. It just felt like we're going to go leave the jungle people and go to the ocean people, and it felt like they were so different. It almost felt like they were on a different planet, and I just would have liked a little bit more, like, hey, remember your roots? Instead of just like at the end, it's like, we're water people now because James Cameron loves the ocean and that's what he wanted to do. And it's like, yeah, but what about all this other shit we set up?
I kept waiting for like a wooden door to fly in, and then you just see a frozen DiCaprio from Titanic, and he's just
well, that's where the movie goes a little bit over the top. Is it has this really great action climax, and then for some reason it feels the need to shoehorn in the entire last 30 minutes of Titanic, like scene for scene, with them trapped under the sinking thing. And it's like, what are we doing? Why is this the end of this movie where it already kind of had a good conclusion, and it's already 3 hours long?
Yeah.
And it was fine, but we didn't need that whole sequence.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to nitpick, like, it had an ending and then kept going. And,
yes.
And I didn't really complain when I watched it. Like, I was along for the ride, but I definitely was like, this already stopped, right? This is wrapping up. Oh, no. We have, a whole new set piece.
It doesn't add anything, and it really, it's at that point when that's when you start to feel, because it is at the 3-hour mark, and you're like, okay, why are we doing this now? Like, just, you've done it. Just stop.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
We cannot let you bring your war here.
Outcast. That's all they see.
I don't think there's much else we can say.
No.
I think we're ready for final thoughts, so I'll start. Avatar: Way of Water is an unexpectedly good sequel from a movie that came out over 10 years ago. It's not often that you get a movie that's literally a direct follow-up so much like this. Like, you usually get a reboot or whatever, but this is literally a sequel. It's very good. It's, I would say, better than the first one. And I don't really care about the first one. And I honestly don't care about this one, but it's still a good movie. You can not care about something and still enjoy it and go to the movies and enjoy it. I would actually give Avatar: Way of Water 4 whales out of 5.
Solid.
Yeah, what about you?
I think there's a really interesting conversation to be had when you think about, like, how some of these directors treat, like, Marvel movies, and they call them, popcorn films and stuff like that. To me, this is exactly that. This is a spectacle popcorn movie. I didn't leave the theater thinking about any deep themes or being like, oh, wow, I really grew as a person because of watching this and had great insights. It's just a fun ride, and it looks really great. I would definitely check it out. Like you said, I like this more than the first one. First one was just totally fine. This one, better than totally fine. It was enjoyable. I didn't feel the runtime was an issue. I wouldn't have minded if there was 10, 15 minutes cut out. But, you got to respect it. If James Cameron just wants to make these for the rest of his life, whatever. I'll turn up once every 12 years and see an Avatar movie. Why not? I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 fingers. Fingers. So yeah, that's our review of Avatar: The Way of Water.
If you haven't already seen it, where have you been? It's been out for weeks now.
Maybe you've been stuck in a snowstorm like I have.
Oh, you haven't had a chance. But yeah, if you like the movie as well, let us know. If you hated this movie, let us know. Let us know why. Hey, James Cameron, make other movies. That's how I feel. Make other movies that aren't Avatar, because you're really good at it. You can make a really good movie that's about some other thing.
I would like a James Cameron universe to develop, where in Avatar 5, Arnold Schwarzenegger shows up as the Terminator.
It's me, I'm the Terminator.
I told you I had to be back.
I must combine with an avatar of a Navi.
I'm sold. There's your pitch.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this whenever it comes out. If you're watching The Last of Us, be sure to check into our weekly review of The Last of Us. We're watching every episode and doing little mini reviews of those, so be sure to check it out, like and subscribe, and be sure to keep tuning in, because eventually we won't be on Zoom or whatever. We'll be back in the studio. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm Scott.
I'm TJ.
This has been a review.
Goodbye. That's probably one of our cleaner endings.